I'm Kate. Let's talk theater. Today we are going to be discussing the 2025 to 2026 touring season, specifically through my main touring destination, Philly. I'm going to just go over and react to what this season is going to look like. I'm super excited. This has been a very awaited season for me because I felt like last Broadway season and the Broadway season before, I just fell in love with a lot of shows that lasted a decent amount of time, but like under a year, and I miss them and I can't wait to see them again. So, my main touring destination and the season that we're going to be looking at is the Ensemble Arts Philly organization in Philadelphia, of course. It's formerly known as the Kimmel Cultural Campus, formerly known as the Kimmel Center. They probably had other names, but since I have known them, those have been those names. There we go. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. So we're going to go in order chronologically of what is coming through the season and see where that gets us. So first up, we have in the end of July into August of 25, we have Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice was here about a year and a half ago, so summer of 23. It is looping back. It seems to be doing very well for itself. There's rumor, I don't know how official it is, but rumor that's actually going to even loop back to New York before it finishes out. So Beetlejuice is doing good things for good people. I think it's a really great adaptation. It takes the show and very much honors it, but it gives it a little bit more, and it feels like there is a point to turning it into a musical. Because I think sometimes with certain adaptations, it just feels like what is the music doing? What did we gain from this? What did we not get from the movie that the music and the singing can give us? And Beetlejuice very much adds layers to its characters through song, which is the point, and so I really appreciate them for that. But it's also at its core very funny, and to me, as somebody who knows the movie but isn't a super fan, at least to me it really does the source material justice. Also, it's a fun one, and especially for it coming through the summer, it's a great one to take the family to if you need a good family show. Family being kids, this would be appropriate for, if I had to guess, probably 8 and up. But also family in terms of just you have, I at least, I think, I would imagine a lot of people do kind of have the family members where it's they'll see a show a year, maybe, that you're probably dragging them to. This is a good one where a lot of people, even if they're not super into theater, they'll probably enjoy this. September into October, we have Six. Six has come and gone. It's coming back. It's been on Broadway. I have not engaged with it. Every time I hear a song, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's not my sound. I don't know. It's so short. And I've heard a lot of people say, it's very much just is the music, which is fine, but I'm not really vibing with the music. So for it to be essentially just a concert of the music, and then I identify that I'm not really feeling it, Six is not for me. I know we have it filmed and the UK is getting it, so I hope eventually it comes to the US. I will definitely check it out. But for my wallet, we are not going to be seeing Six. What is interesting to me is that Six is going to be at the Academy of Music, as is Beetlejuice. But that is their biggest theater. That holds over 2,000 people. So just to see a concert stage kind of a show in that huge venue, I really wonder what that would be like, because from what I know of Six, I envision it in more of their smaller theaters. They have the Miller, which is a mid-size, and then the Forest, which is smaller. I don't know. Next up, we have Kimberly Akimbo in the end of October to early November. I saw Kimberly Akimbo 3 times on Broadway. I want to go back. My wallet doesn't want me to go back, but I do want to go back. It's just a good show. It's a good time. It does make your shitty life better, right? It does. And I just think it's a good one. I also would love to see Carolee Carmello in this, because I saw her in Bad Cinderella. So we gotta see her. We gotta see her in something else. I did learn that years ago, literally weeks before the pandemic the closures kicked off, I did see her in Hello Dolly, but didn't know who she was. So I would love to see her in this, and see some of the kids that have kids. I'm sure they're all young adults, but the high school aged actors see them, and like I know some of them have stuck with it, so I'm thinking about this one. Because I do miss Kimberly Akimbo, and I did really enjoy it when I saw it on Broadway. It's a sad one. It's a cry. Like, something about it made me cry, like, the whole time. And I do love that. Next up, we have Back to the Future. That's going to be in November. And that is the time to have Back to the Future. That had to have been very purposeful. It feels purposeful for them to show up kind of Thanksgiving break. Again, a great one to take the family to. I saw it 4 times on Broadway. Can you believe that? I can barely believe that. But the last time I went with family. I took specifically an uncle who was like an 80s kid, and it was like Christmas. It was incredible. I am very curious. So it is in the Academy of Music as well, which is, again, the biggest theater. But it's not like I know the specs of the stage, right? And what they need to like do the full effect. And I know there's been a lot of discussion of the tour. What are they doing with the flying car? Are they doing the full effect? Are they doing a lessened effect? What is making them decide one over the other in terms of like space and what they need? And like, I'm not gonna lie, that is the point. Like, that is why you go. So I don't know how to feel about a Back to the Future where I might not get the full effect, because that made me feel like I was a kid in Disney World. Like, that was so much. This musical for me was that. It felt like I was at an attraction. The lights are coming all around you. Like, that was incredible. And it's a show that I question if it's not the full effect. Like, how would I feel about that? Maybe if you don't know what to expect, you probably wouldn't even notice, right? Because they still have the effect. The car does still fly. But how will I feel about it? Because I'm very attached to the flying car. I don't know. Ironically, did not see Back to the Future until seeing the musical for the 4 times. So I have no reason to be this attached to the flying car, and yet I am. Cirque Dreams Holidays. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to pretend to be involved in the Cirque du Soleil realm. It's never spoken to me. If it speaks to you, I'm happy for you. I should probably go one day, but not today. Not today. January, we have SUFS. I'm excited for SUFS. What I am surprised about is that, again, SUFS is at the Academy of Music. It's at the Giant Theater. I'm very surprised. I really thought it would be at the Forest. The Forest is a part of Ensemble Arts Philly, but also it's not. Like, you would buy tickets through Telecharge. It's like a part of their campus, but they don't own it in the same way. Like, it's a weird thing. I don't really get it, but very surprised that SUFS is going to be at the Giant Theater, especially with the lack of directorial choices, set. Like, the only downside I ever really felt with SUFS, and I think it's ultimately what lost its best musical to The Outsiders. I have not seen The Outsiders still, but I think why it didn't end up, like, there's a reason it won Best Musical and Best Book, but not Best Musical. No. There's a reason it won Best Book and Best Music Score. I'm losing it. But it didn't win Best Musical. And I think that's the set. The marching numbers are very anticlimactic because it's a huge stage with very few people on them, and it's not impactful. And I'm just surprised that it's going to be, once again, on a big stage, because I think it would actually do better to be in a little bit of a shrunken format. We know that there's a pro shot out there in the world. My guess is we're not seeing that pro shot until after this tour concludes, but I definitely think it's worth seeing. It'll be interesting to know, like, thinking about seeing a show like SUFS, which is a show about history but feels very topical, and thinking about, like, 10 months from now, how am I going to feel seeing SUFS? Like, I cannot even fathom that. I cannot imagine. The last time I saw SUFS was this past October. That's one of those, it's hard to even it's hard to consider, but it is a show that, like, yes, we will get a pro shot, but I think the story resonates with so many people right now that being in that room with that energy is just another experience entirely. And so I really recommend checking this out, and I will probably be going as well. Beauty and the Beast. I'm so excited. I am so excited for Beauty and the Beast. I have not seen Beauty and the Beast since it toured in 2012. Well, I saw a regional production in probably like 2017. So like very long time ago. I was a kid, or I was like a very young adult, and like I don't have like memory of it. I wasn't engaging in theater in the way I am now. I'm so excited to like see this musical as an adult and experience it as an adult, because I've seen the other, not all of them, but other Disney musicals as an adult. I'm interested to see how that feels, because this is a musical that holds a special place in my heart, but I haven't seen it with like adult eyes. I'm also excited because it's going to be all new, and that's really exciting to see a tour give us something new. I feel like that used to happen, right? But I feel like we haven't really seen that, and so I'm so excited. That's coming in February to Philly, and I will be sat and ready. The Sound of Music is coming in April. How do I feel about The Sound of Music? I don't know. I haven't really engaged with The Sound of Music since I was a kid. Now that I'm saying this, I saw The Sound of Music live with Carrie Underwood, and it's not like that was a good experience. And so, I don't know. I feel like I need to watch the movie. I haven't seen the movie since I was a kid, and I think I need to watch the movie to make a decision about going to see The Sound of Music, because I think it is a piece of theater that should tour right now, but do I want to see that? I'm not sure. We will see. Shucked. So excited for Shucked. It's coming at the end of April. This is in the Forest Theater. This is in the smaller theater, which makes me excited, because there are usually lotteries for all of these shows, but the Academy of Music is so big that you could get a seat that really severely impacts your experience, and that has happened to me before. I saw like 40 to 60% of To Kill a Mockingbird in the Academy of Music. Like, it was rough, because the stage is here and there's a U. So if you are like 2 over and up, it's very high. There's 4 levels, like ground and then 1, 2, 3. You're not having a good time. Like, it does heavily impact your experience. And so playing the lottery, you could really get placed somewhere where it's just not a great time. The Forest is shaped more and feels more like a Broadway theater. It is more straightforward. There's orchestra and mezz front and rear. So it just feels like a safer bet to play the lottery, which is exciting, because I probably will buy tickets to Shucked, but it's always nice when something comes through there, because I feel like I can like try to go again. And I love Shucked, and I'm very curious, because I have learned recently that they cut out the We Love Jesus song. We love Jesus, but we drink a little, which I have a lot of questions about. I need to see what they replaced it with, because why would they do that? I recently like looked at the lyrics. I'm like, I don't think that like this is like the whole musical is a little bit satirical on like small town, country town. But like, to me, as someone who's an East Coaster, to me none of it feels like offensive. It's like, if you can't a little bit laugh at yourself, I don't know. Like, people are religious and they still drink, and like they still engage in things that are like, I don't know what's up with that. Has anybody seen Shucked and can explain to me what's going on here? I've literally seen signs, like those block signs that like everyone's mother or grandmother probably has at least one. I've seen ones that literally say, I love Jesus, I've seen that. Jokes about Jesus and drinking. Like, they didn't invent that. So I'm very curious as to why they cut that, and I'm wondering, has anybody seen any articles pop up where they've spoken to that, or can just maybe get a feel for it based on what they replaced it with? Because that is very curious to me. Like, if the Book of Mormon can run around town, I think you can sing a 3-minute song about drinking. Like, I think we're good. I don't know. We will see. I'm also excited to be a little bit deeper into the run. Obviously, people can come and go, but I think this is definitely a show where the actors need time to really feel out each other, because the comedic timing is everything. And having seen Shucked very early in its run, I think within a couple weeks of it opening, and then seeing it 3 times throughout, and then seeing its last show, it just kept getting better every time because they kept figuring out how to play with each other, how to play with the audience. That's such a strength of Shucked. That's why I'm very skeptical of a Shucked movie rather than a pro shot. Like the audience plays a role in Shucked 100%. We have Chicago coming in May. I saw Chicago on tour in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm good. That feels like a musical where I was like, I gotta see it once. I've seen it now. I'm good. I am good. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. And to me, the movie did a good job of like zhuzhing it up, and like that just feels like more like me. The show is more comedic and has its own merit, but it's more of just a personal preference for me. You can also really tell that it was a New York City Center production, which I didn't know until we went and I saw it, and I was like, of course that's a New York City Center production. Like, shout out to them. The Outsiders. The Outsiders is something I haven't seen yet. It's really expensive, and while the rain sequence at the Tony performance was like gorgeous, I was not feeling the lyrics. And so it's never been a show where I have felt comfortable like shelling out the price that the tickets are right now. And they very rarely have a lottery. They do have cancellation tickets, but again, those are even a little bit beyond what I feel comfortable spending money on at this time. So excited for that to come at the end of May and early June to really see it and to just understand the hype for myself. Like, let's go. Let's get these boys. Why do I want to see a musical about boys? That's the question. I'm just like, Suffs. You know what I love about Suffs? It's for the gals. It's for the gals. A musical about a bunch of teenage boys yelling about being greasers. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. I can own that. I'll probably enjoy it. A lot of people do. I mean, there's got to be something going on there. But we will see. We will see when it comes to Philly. And rounding out our season, last but certainly not least, The Notebook, people. The Notebook is coming July 21st to August 2nd. You bet I'm going to be there over and over again. It is going to be an insufferable time for everyone. It's going to be Company Tour 2.0. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I can't wait to see casting. I can't wait to see this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's coming. It's happening. I am just going to soak it up, let it cook in my brain, and try to think about it every second so that it's fresh in there forever. I love this musical. I love this musical, and I wonder how it'll do. Will it almost do better on tour? Because it's got that IP. This is iconic. Will people go see it and be a little more drawn to it? I'm curious to know. Now, thinking about both The Outsiders and The Notebook, they're both going to be at the Academy of Music. We're talking about the flying car. Will it rain? Will it rain for The Outsiders and The Notebook? I do think it's curious that they're happening in succession. Will it rain? Is that possible? Will it rain, but maybe not to the extent that it rains on Broadway? Can they still rig something where maybe it won't be able to hold as much water, but we will still see some water? I don't know. I'm very curious because they are both such huge moments that as they are, I feel like I don't want to say that about The Outsiders. I don't know. But for The Notebook, as The Notebook is right now, they very much use the water. So they will have to make a lot of changes to not use the water, which they, of course, can do and have the time to do. And it's not the first time a tour has had to make kind of some significant physical changes and therefore also be changing potentially some choreography and things. But it's such a moment. I don't know how I'm going to feel if it's just like light, if it's just, I don't know. Because even a big thing about The Notebook specifically was that it wasn't just drippings, that it builds and builds and builds, and it's coming down heavier and heavier, and it's just this wow. So we will see. I feel like I'm going to be keeping a close eye and seeing what happens there. It starts this September, so it won't be long until we start to figure out maybe what's going on there. But I'm also curious to know, are they going to make a blanket decision, or will they slightly change things depending on venue and venue capabilities, kind of like what we're seeing with the flying car? Except the flying car is a car, so they just have to program it, whereas people would have to like learn different things depending on. We will see. Very curious to know. That is the Ensemble Arts Philly 2025 to 2026 season. One thing that I do feel like I'm missing from this tour lineup is Parade. Parade is on tour right now. Parade, where are you? I am really hoping they still come. I know they've been on tour, I think, for a couple months now. Am I making that up? Parade launched in January, so very possible that it will kind of go on for, over that year and a half, hoping that it is in then the 26-27 season. Really hoping it comes to Philly. It does look like there aren't a ton of dates from what I'm seeing, and they are like still adding. Like just yesterday as I'm filming this, they added North Carolina dates. Especially with the fact that I didn't see any of the shows set for the Miller Theater, which is like their mid-sized theater, and only two. Chicago was also in the Forest Theater. Very possible that this could kind of be tacked on in the season because so many are at the Academy and like not disrupt. And I do think it would be really a good show for the Forest Theater for the more intimate venue. So really holding out hope that we get to see that this season, and if not, see it in the next season, but it does look like they are still announcing some dates, and so here's hoping on that. That is the Ensemble Arts Philly, the Philadelphia tour schedule as we know it for 2025 to 2026. Super excited, a lot of good shows. The wallet is going to be crying this year. I'm definitely considering a subscription. I did a Flex subscription this past season that we're still in. It was 4 shows, whatever you wanted. I did Hamilton, Come From Away, and Juliet, and Some Like It Hot. It was like the perfect amount of shows that I wanted to see that season. That was the minimum. You got to pick and choose different price points, whatever. It was very flexible. So I am curious. There are enough shows here where do I want to do a full subscription? We will see. Keep you posted on that. Has anybody subscribed to their local touring destination or to the Philly destination? Let me know in the comments below. Are some of these shows coming to your town? What are you most excited for? Let me know. So if you could like and subscribe and do all of the YouTube things, I would greatly appreciate you helping me grow the theater community on YouTube. TikTok, love TikTok. It's forever dangling by a thread. If you do want to follow me on social media, I'm on all social media at Theater Kates. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time to talk more theater. Bye.